Hey y'all, it's Diane with Shellcraft One and my old barn door, and I have a beautiful flip-flop sewing journal that I've been working on for a while. And of course, you know, everybody gets caught up in all the holiday stuff, and so I finally got it finished, and I just wanted to do a quick flip through for y'all and let you see it. So once you see this video, this journal will be up in my shop, ready for you to grab it if you love it. And I think it would make a wonderful Christmas present for that special someone in your life. So let's just go ahead. Now this here is just it's actually a clip-on earring, but I thought it was so cute to add to the middle of that bow. So I'm just going to take that off. We'll untie the bow, and the journal is wrapped in this beautiful, very vintage yo-yo topper. It's a quilt topper that my sweet friend Rhonda shared with me. She shared a very large portion of it with me, and I thought how fitting this would be for a sewing journal. So I've wrapped it up in these yo-yos. Now you can take these yo-yos apart and use them however you want to, but I just thought it was really pretty wrapped around the journal. So again, she's big. She's a big journal, y'all. She is quite tall. I'll go ahead and show you a side view. So that's the one side, and that's the other side. She has 5 signatures, so like I say, she's very large, but that's okay. So we're just going to do a quick flip through. I'm going to try not to do a whole lot of talking. And we'll just get to going. There are lots of vintage pages in the journal, vintage sewing pages. I used some of my my sewing kit, the digital kit that's in my shop. And then these came from, let me think. These came from Your Creative Studio. I believe this is a sticker. I did an unboxing video of these back, I don't know, it's been a while back. And I absolutely loved everything I got in that little box. And I knew I wanted to make a sewing journal, so it's just taken me some time to get to it. But that's where that came from. Have some vintage sewing little what do they call these, closures, and I just kind of left it. This is hanging off the bottom and it's ripped and torn, but it's very vintage, so I just left it like it was. Again, lots of vintage pages. You've got some embossed pages, which I love the embossed pages. This is a vintage little needle book that I got out of a very old sewing kit. Okay, we've got a little extra glue here somewhere that's sticking together. Okay. Y'all tell me how this lighting is. I know on the last video I struggled a little bit with the lighting. Still working on it, but I think this might work a little better. So in this little pocket you have lots of sewing goodies that are tucked in here. A little vintage address book page, vintage Rolodex that's been watercolored, and then a little, what do they call these, little measuring tape type deals. It's the other side of that vintage ledger. And then this is straw paper from Rachel, and I've just added this little button card on there. So that is, oh yeah, I stuck this in there so I would remember, and it's Your Creative Studio. Alright, so that's the first little signature, and it just ties up right here like this. And then here you have a pocket that's stuffed full of vintage sewing goodies. Well, I say stuffed full. It's got this very old envelope that this came in, and so I thought it would be fun to share this in, and this folds out fairly big, so I thought it would be fun to share this in the journal. Just tuck that in there. And then you open it up to the first signature. And I made a little flip open here with some embossed paper. This is actually like the front leaf of a vintage Reader's Digest book. And I added, no, actually this was already on there. So I just embossed it. I thought it would be cute. And then you have a little sewing pattern tucked in here. These are from one of my favorite books. It's called Granny Chic. I know y'all have probably seen it, but I absolutely love it. And this was from a kit that I have had for years. It was specifically made or created to be a sewing kit for either a scrapbook or a journal. And here I just have some vintage little pieces that I've kind of folded together in this little pocket. I made a little pocket out of this vintage sewing pattern piece. So just lots of little vintage paper that you can use creatively in your journal. You have several fabric flips in here. I had fun with this journal. I had a whole lot of fun creating this journal, and I had so much stuff that I had saved up for it, and it's just been sitting and sitting and sitting, and I'm like, I'm going to get to this journal. This is one of the little thread spools that's in my kit. This is from Your Creative Studio as well. Maybe it's not a sticker, but it's really, really good and thick. It's a good quality little journaling card. A little vintage ledger. I think this one came from my shop, but I can't be for sure, so I won't say that definitely. This is just a little cluster type deal that I thought I would just pop in here. A little envelope this is from my sewing kit, and so is this page. This is from Your Creative Studio. I put you a doily page in here. I just thought this doily was so pretty. A little crinkly. This is some of my parchment paper that I used to coffee dye some pages. The washi is from Your Creative Studio. A little up tuck there. It's got a little tag and just a little journaling piece in there. Little cluster there that my sweet friend Debbie made me. Thank you, Debbie. And then you have a feed sack fabric pocket. And y'all, I meant to tell y'all, I can't remember if I told y'all or not, but a while back, Sunshine and me went to a yard sale. Or Sunshine and I think is the correct way. Anyway, we went to a yard sale, and it's like a perpetual yard sale. Like it goes on every week. But anyway, she had some real feed sack fabric. Excuse me, real feed sack bags. I got the actual bags, and they're so pretty. I can't wait to show them to y'all. So I'll share those with y'all in another video. But this is feed sack fabric. I think it might be from one of the bags. It's either from one of the bags I got, or it's from Rhonda, my sweet friend Rhonda Atchison. She sends me the best stuff, y'all. And she sent me a box that had some in it. This is Your Creative Studio. Just a little tag that I made with a fabric topper. This flips open. And you have just a little, this is one of my... I keep saying I'm going to finish this kit, and I still don't have it finished, but it's a layover kit, and it just tucks in there, and I printed it on vellum. Then you have a pocket here. This is one of the tags from my sewing kit, and I love the little ruffle. This is a vintage quilt piece that Rhonda sent me, and I made it into a ruffle on top of there. Have an up tuck here. This is another tag from the kit. And then I just made a cute little time card for extra journaling. I'm going to try and quit talking so much so we can get through this, because it's a lot. But I do need to tell you, this is very, very vintage. So yeah, it's already fallen apart. So whoever gets it, just know that this is for collage purposes, or, you know, playing in. You'll need to glue it to something. Another one of the envelopes from the kit. Here's the other side of the doily page. This is from the kit. This one flips open, and it has some vintage railroad ledgers in there. I don't know why I put two. I just meant to put one. But if you open this up, it has the vintage staples and a little vintage note. This is from 1924. Love, love, love this little needle book. This is in, I think this is in my sewing kit, and so is this. Of course, I had to add some vintage chenille in there. And then this is from my vintage linens kit. I think it's the pink one. So you can use, like, I think this says Pink Christmas, but you can use it, you know, it doesn't have to be used in a Christmas journal. There's the other page of that Granny Chic book. And then I gave you a piece of rice paper. Sometimes they don't print exactly the way I want them to. Like, see how this one didn't, it printed just a little bit crooked on the bottom. And so I save them, you know, because they're beautiful and I'm not going to throw them away. So I'll just add them into journals. And that way you can use them to collage with, or however you want to use them. Okay, so that's the end of the first signature. Then we have the second signature. This is one of the pages from the kit. And then you have another flip out on the music page. I made a little vintage tag. This is actually from, you know, the little packs you get that have seam binding wrapped around them, or that's the little card that has ribbon or seam binding or whatever wrapped around them. And then this, I'm absolutely in love with these, y'all. These are from Tailor Made Journals. Lorna made these gorgeous, gorgeous, it's a digital that she has over there. So y'all go check it out. Let me look. Okay, this is from her French embroidery patterns kit. And I absolutely love it. So I printed some lined paper on the back so you could use it to journal on. But how fun are these? There are several of these throughout the journal, and I thought they just went perfect with a sewing journal. There's another one. And I love the grid paper because a lot of seamstresses, you know, they use that grid paper. And then I printed grid on the back of that one. One of those little vintage seam binding wraps, and it's wrapped in, it's just got a little vintage, these were actually, I think, from like a, I don't remember. But anyway, and then some beautiful coffee dyed paper there, lined paper. I stitched on some, what do they call this? You know, it goes on the edge of a quilt or a blanket. Oh, I know the name of it like the back of my hand. This is a vintage quilt piece, and I can't think of it now. Some doily, vintage quilt piece here. And then I took this little seam binding package, and I just made it like a little pocket and put a little journaling card down in there. How cute is that? Tag from the kit. Little journal card that I made. And actually it flips over the page, so you can use this as a pocket at the top. But this is just like a flip over the page type deal. I'm not going to take the paper clip off, but then it has the pretty lace pocket there. You have some measuring tape tabs, and there's another doily page, another page from the Granny Chic book that I love. Look at that lovely camper. Isn't that amazing? Love all the different fabrics they used in there. And then on the back side you have another fabric flip with a rusted quilting safety pin. You have a piece of that vintage quilt, and then some pieces of fabrics, and then a pretty piece of lace in that fabric flip. And then you have this little ruffle here on the edge, and then you have a rusted bulb pin with a dangle and this rusty safety pin. I love this page from the Granny Chic book. How pretty is that? Chenille pocket with some goodies. These are all from my sewing kit in the shop, and so is this page, I think. Ooh, go sneeze. Okay. This is some vintage newsprint paper. And then this is a little pocket. I'll just take it off. So it's a pocket on this side. It has a little tag in it, and it just flips over the page, but it's like a little booklet pocket. Booklet pocket. I almost messed up saying that, didn't I? And then in this top tuck, you have just a little journal booklet with some fun little pieces in there and some vintage pages. Just used my scraps and made a pretty little booklet. This pocket, you have another one of the thread spools from my kit, and I've put little pieces of trims on each of the thread spools that I added in here. Here's a few. This is from my sewing kit, and then this is from, I think, it's 7 Gypsies, and just a couple of little snippets of ephemera for you to play with in the journal. There's another one of the envelopes from the kit, and that is the end of the second signature. And so then we're going to open it this way. Gotta sneeze again. Okay. This is from that kit I told you that I had forever. It's scrapbooking paper, but how cute is that? And then you have a large size tag. I cut out some of it was a sewing pattern envelope that was in really bad shape. So I cut the pretty girls off of it and just made a tag out of it. Another chenille pocket. This is a piece from Your Creative Studio. This is an envelope from the sewing kit in my shop. Of course, you have to have some doilies in here. And there's another one of the thread spools, but I made another cute little tag from that envelope, that sewing envelope, and just vintage book page. This is from that envelope too. Little flip there. This is a ruffle from Feed Sack Fabric. And then this is one of my funnest pages. I had so much fun with this. This is a swatch page. So on each of these, you can flip them up, and you can journal under them and have a space for secret journaling. So both of these pages are that way, but they just have little fabric swatches. Or you can take these fabrics off and use them. A lot of these are Feed Sack fabrics. There's a lot of Feed Sack fabrics on here. So actually this whole page is Feed Sack fabrics. So yeah, I just thought it would be fun to add a fabric swatch page in a sewing journal. This is a piece of a vintage quilt that was cut out into a heart, and I put a rusted safety pin on there. Beautiful little delicate little doily there. This is a page from my sewing kit. It's been a while since I've got to play with my sewing kit. This is from that Granny Chic book. How cute is that? This is the other side of that page from my sewing kit, and this is in the sewing kit as well. This might not be in the sewing kit. This might be in the, I have a a quilted fabric pages kit in my shop. I can't remember if this is in my sewing kit or not. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Little ruffle from a vintage quilt piece. Here's another little pocket, and it's just stuffed with all kinds of goodness in here. And there's another one of the thread spools from my kit, and I put some pretty eyelash trim on there. This is from Your Creative Studio, and that's from the kit as well. One of the envelopes from the kit. Another fabric flip, and this time you get some doilies. And you can take these apart and use this fabric any way you want to in your journal. Some more goodies tucked into this pocket. A little tag. Index card. And then this is some vintage green grid paper that I thought would be fun for a sewing journal. And get these in here the right way. Oh, this is just my little, I was going to add this to in here somewhere just and sign it for you, for whoever gets the journal. So it will be signed. I'm so bad about doing that, and I'm trying to get better about doing that. So this is just tied on to the top of this little pocket here. And then you have, this is just a wrapper that some eyelash trim came in. Might have even been that blue eyelash trim, can't remember. There's a tag from the kit. I think this is from the kit, but it may not be. Ooh, it's glued up in there. Oh, you know what I did? I tied it to that. I guess I need to trim that up a bit. Okay, that one's not tied. Gotta love it when you make mess ups like that and don't realize that you've done it until you're on camera. That's okay though. I know y'all understand. It's life. Keeping it real, right? This is just a little flip up that I used to make. I used some sewing pattern papers to just make something a little interesting. It's not a pocket or anything. It's just a little flip. And I had fun making it. And I love this page. This is just a little flip of vintage chenille. Vintage newspaper. Another pocket with a tag and a piece of ephemera from the kit. And then a vintage book page from a sewing binder. This is from my kit. Here is another envelope and journal card from the kit on this very vintage ledger. And there's some vintage German sewing tape or sewing paper, according to how you want to call it. This is from the kit. That's from the kit with some more eyelash trim. Another one of those green grid pages. This is a vintage timesheet. A little vintage card. This was actually, it's just like a journaling card, but this is from a Vera Bradley set that I had. And I thought that would be fun to put that in there since she's such a great seamstress. Another fabric flip. This is a vintage quilt top piece. There is the center of the signature with that granny chic page. I love the way they decorate. These two are from my sewing kit, and then just a vintage king corn stamp card. From the kit, and a vintage doily, vintage ledger, some more chenille, an envelope from the kit, This was a little piece that I was practicing slow stitching on, and I thought it would be cute to make a pocket out of it. And then these are a couple of pieces from my sewing kit. Another ruffle from one of those vintage quilt top pieces. This is in my kit, and so is this. These are just some little pieces that are cut out, and they were pinned together and very old, and I thought they would be cool to put in here. This is from the kit. A cute little tag that I, again, made out of the little card that you wrap ribbon or seam binding or whatever on. Comes in those little packages. Tag from the kit and a journaling card from the kit. And that is the end of the journal. So she is large and in charge. I think she's beautiful, and I had such a fun time putting her together. So I hope that you, if you love her, I hope that you get a chance to grab her and bring her home with you. So again, if you see this video, this journal will be in the shop. And don't forget to like and subscribe for me. Leave any comments you have in the comment box below. And I'll see you in the next video. Big hugs.